I am William, and today we open a sealed door on one of Egypt's most captivating rituals, the making of animal mummies. Not museum novelties, but sacred offerings placed before gods whose power was imagined in fur, scale, and sinew. Cats promised protection, crocodiles carried the force of the river, baboons served wisdom at daybreak. The truth under their linen, revealed by scanning, is richer than legend. Picture a temple forecourt before sunrise. Pilgrims arrive with anxious hopes. From a stall run by attendants, they purchase a small wrapped bundle smelling of resin. It is a votive mummy. A whispered prayer follows, the bundle is recorded, and priests carry it through doorways into rock-cut galleries. Multiply that moment by thousands, and you glimpse a practice joined to skilled craft. Begin with cats, companions of a protective goddess. Across the country, cat cemeteries formed, shelves of stacked parcels. Wrapping became art, herringbone bands, diamond lattices, stitched faces. But the true story is more intriguing. When CT scanners peered beneath the fabric, some bundles held a whole animal carefully posed. Others contained partial remains padded with linen and reeds to keep a feline outline. A few were symbolic bundles of bone and feather, offered with the same sincerity as a gift. Now consider crocodiles, emblems of strength and swift justice, linked to the life-giving flood. In certain districts, hatchlings were kept in temple ponds, then embalmed when they died. Their mummies range from palm-length bodies to imposing specimens with snouts masked in cartonnage. CT images show rows of tiny eggs, wrapped like beads of promise, and reeds arranged as a miniature riverbank. The message was clear: power offered, power requested, power answered. Baboons, lively and unsettling, were associated with learned speech and the first call of dawn. Their mummies tell another chapter. Some show exquisite care, limbs padded, cheeks rebuilt with soft wads, hands crossed in a pose of quiet dignity. Others are composites, built from several animals, to embody a single sacred intercessor. Scans reveal wooden splints set to hold a gesture, faience charms tucked close to the chest, and repairs made long after death, so the figure could continue to serve. How did embalmers work? In miniature, they echoed royal practice. Bodies were dried with natron, cavities packed with resinous mixtures, limbs arranged, faces modelled with pads of cloth. The outer bandage was a visible sermon. Zigzags spoke of water and renewal. Crossed bands suggested the net that catches chaos. Painted eyes urged the spirit to see the path. Even the knots mattered, tightened to words from ritual handbooks as the linen passed from palm to palm. But the secrets behind this craft might surprise you further. Animal mummification was also an economy. Keepers bred animals, embalmers trained apprentices, weavers supplied strips of cloth, merchants traded resin and incense. Visitors could choose a simple bundle or a masterpiece, with a mask and painted features. The price was not only for materials, it announced the seriousness of the request. Does this raise awkward questions about care and killing? The scans do not speak with one voice. Some cats died old and tooth-worn, others by quick blows that met demand. There are hatchlings raised for offerings, and creatures recovered after natural death. The past will not settle into one moral sentence, yet the evidence shows intention everywhere. Each bundle is a shaped argument offered to the divine. What did worshippers hope to gain? Protection for a doorway, healing for a parent, deliverance from flood or drought, justice for a theft no court could solve. The votive mummy acted as a contract. I give, you guard. And the crypt became an archive of these promises stacked in darkness. Here is the quiet conclusion. Animal mummies are not curios beside royal splendor. They are a people's theology made visible. Divinity here was close, domestic, and tangible. It had whiskers, scales, and nimble fingers. It could purr, hiss, and chatter back. And when the last knot was tied and the bundle settled among thousands, the giver walked away trusting a small body wrapped in linen could carry hope into the hands of the gods. Modern scanning has turned those wrapped shapes into readable archives. When a bundle goes through a CT machine, the linen seems to fall away without a knife, and bone, bead, and amulet appear as if the embalmers had drawn a map. We see fractures healed in life, clean cuts made after death, small charms pressed into folds, and coils of resin that still gleam. We can trace hurried hands working for a pilgrim in a rush, and patient hands shaping a masterpiece for a generous donor. Workshops sat close to shrines and quarries, where natron could be carted in and fresh cloth carried out. Apprentices learned on small birds and fish before they touched a cat or a baboon. A senior embalmer set the pose, the padding, and the number of amulets. The whole act was a choreography of craft and prayer. Scanning also shows that a bundle is not always what it seems. Many contain a perfect skeleton, posed with care. Others are partial, with skull and paws padded into a believable outline. Some are symbolic, built from reeds and feathers, with only a token bone sewn near the heart. Rather than fraud, this reads as a scale of offering. A quick gift for a traveler, a mid-level gift with a recognizable face, a costly gift with a mask and painted collar. Each level let a worshipper match hope to purse. Cemeteries were managed with method. Stewards logged shelves so a priest could find earlier offerings when a family returned. Oil lamps left a faint film on the stone, and the air kept a breath of resin. The deposits turned corridors into archives of prayer, proof that intercession was woven into daily life. What did the gods hear in these gifts? A cat spoke for the home and the child who slept inside it. A crocodile spoke for the river and the fields that must flood and retreat. A baboon spoke for learning and for the daybreak when accounts are balanced. Offerings tied worship to the cycles of labor. Farmers asked for water. Traders asked for safe roads. Scribes asked for clear numbers. The wrappings echoed the plea. Nets and waves stitched into cloth promised order and renewal. Modern study also helps explain the famous clean ceilings. Mirrors kicked light round corners where lamps could not go. Wicks were trimmed, oils filtered, and smoke drawn through high ducts. What looks like magic is mainly knowledge, refined across generations. There is tenderness here alongside industry. Scans show the curl of a kitten supported by a small cradle of folded cloth. A crocodile hatchling is wrapped with a string of seed pods, as if it were moving along a green bank. One baboon shows a splint in a finger that broke long before death. Someone cared enough to put it back where it belonged. These small decisions make the vast practice human. Walk those galleries and you meet an old grammar of belief. Silence under chalky stone. Crates the color of straw. The stillness is not empty, it holds unfinished conversations. Each bundle is a line of speech paused at the step of a god. Animal mummies were not only requests, they were also acts of thanks. Families returned with new parcels to repay what they believed had been granted. The stacks grew because hopes were answered often enough to bring people back. That way, success recorded itself in linen and resin. So what do these sacred packages teach us now? That a society can turn belief into organized craft without losing sincerity. That small lives can carry public hopes. that words, cloth, salt, and resin can bind a community to its ideals with more strength than stone. The kings built pyramids. The people built archives of faith, one small body at a time. When the last gallery is mapped and the last bundle scanned, something important will remain. The knowledge that devotion leaves marks, and that those marks can still be read. We may not know the exact name spoken as a bandage passed hand to hand, yet the shape of the wish is clear. Guard our homes, feed our land, give us wisdom at dawn. In that simple truth, the cult of cats, crocodiles, and baboons still lives.